All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This should be a very interesting episode here of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. Of course, you got Giuseppe D, you got Joey Cold Cuts in the house, and you got Mikey V,
Wow,
ladies
Mike
and gentlemen.
V.
That is Bear Down Cuz repping
Representing
Italy.
the old country.
Well, I
Wow.
want to feel like I'm semi there with you now. There's going to be no background change tonight, so don't break my balls. Don't ask for it. The cave is in absolute disarray right now, preparing for the move.
Mikey, you would think that you guys are building Buckingham Palace with the way you've been going at this house.
Well,
It is.
let's
I mean,
put
this
Paul
guy.
Cafone is.
if the shoe
Cafone's
fits.
gonna,
What is
Cafone's gonna drop dead on the spot after
Well,
the amount of work
Cafone's-
Bear Down's got him going.
Cafone's being worked to the bone. There's no question.
This
about
guy, this poor guy, is
Cabone.
working 17 hours a day. Now,
it. Yeah, I got guys in there on Sundays, Saturdays.
Talk about
There's no
getting more
days
than
off.
you bargained for, Bob.
I mean, this
He's being
really-
paid handsomely. He's being paid handsomely.
Mikey,
I
let me
should-
ask
I
you
should
something.
say.
Be honest. I mean, you could tell us. We could take it. Do we look heavier?
Heavier?
Yep.
No.
I feel-
not yet.
I
Like,
tell you what though, you guys look tired, bro. You
We
look
got
tired.
well. It's 4:30 in the morning.
it's
right
4:30
now.
Yeah, that's
in
what.
the morning.
So I just said to Holly, these guys want to record, and she goes, now. I go, yeah. I go, I guess now. She goes, it's 4 a.m. there. I go, what? She goes, it's 4 a.m. I go, no, it's not. She showed me the world clock. It's 4 a.m. I said, what are these guys nuts?
Well,
Yeah.
and we didn't even.
Pod
go-
doesn't sleep.
we didn't even really go hard tonight because we thought we were supposed to have an interview with Brian Urlacher. Thanks to Mikey V setting that up. Turns out your Monday is me and Cole
Is our Tuesday.
Hmm.
and I just can't. It's like I'm on Mars, you know.
Bob, it's not that complicated,
I
to be
know.
completely honest.
I
You
just
know,
can't-
it's a 9-hour time difference, 6 from where Mikey is. That's it. You're in a different part of the
You
world.
know what? Too. It's
He,
so
he looks
weird.
at things like he's never seen it before, Mikey. Like he's discovered plutonium. It's like Bob. It's
Look
it's
at
like
him, though. Look at him taking down that aquapana out of the bottle. God bless. Good for you, pal. Good for you.
We
It's-
really lived it up today, Mikey. It was our first
I
day in
saw
Italy.
the spread.
and
Very nice
we-
spread. Very
We did something so outrageous, Bob. You got to tell him what we.
So we went and I was so excited. You know, Switzerland was awesome. I did like Switzerland. It's very scenic, which I liked. But everybody's very well groomed. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like we definitely stuck out. Not necessarily in a good way, but we had
Put
a
up in a
class.
Prize Picks T-shirt.
Yeah.
Hey, nothing wrong with the friends over at Prize Picks. They make a nice
Let me tell
t-shirt.
you,
Shows up with a Waggle golf hat and a Prize Picks T-shirt the first night we
And
show
what-
up. It's
what
like,
is that hat you're wearing now, Bob? What is that? A hop grenade? Is that a hop? Is that a beer company hat? That's a
These
beer company
Waggle-
hat, isn't it? Or,
these guys keep sending me these hats, and the hats are terrific, but I've never been able to
Right.
promote the hats because of Roback. But the hats are just terrific. But we get into Italy today, and I will be honest with you, it's not overhyped. I mean, the food it's crazy. It's like a
Told you.
total different level. But we ended up having all these different pastas, risotto. We did it all. Me and Joe.
Yeah.
15 minutes later, we were gonna get gelato. Instead, we settled for more Negronis and a pizza.
yeah.
We showed up at a pizzeria.
Now, did you go?
after-
Did you go to like just a random place to eat, or did you scout it out a little bit?
No,
Joey
so
D
the
did very
place
good
for
with that.
dinner. The place for dinner we went, I did some reviews. I looked up, and the place was exceptional. The place on the way back, the pizza place was a random spot we stopped, which by the way, I thought was not bad. Bob was not thrilled with it. We'll go to a really good pizza place tomorrow, but it was just like when you're here, you got to make the most of it. We're here for two days, and then we're in Florence for 2 days. And now tonight is my birthday. It's my
This is a
birthday
birthday
dinner
pod, by the
tonight.
way, Mikey V. This is a birthday pod currently for Giuseppe D.
When is your wait, Joe? Is it Today, the 26th?
Well, in Italy, it's
No.
the 27th already. So
Okay,
technically,
so
we're filming.
I'm not gonna wish you a happy birthday because I'll
Yeah,
only
yeah.
wish you a happy birthday within the continental United States time zones. So I will wish you a happy birthday in 1.5 hours. You get the happy birthday text.
All right, Mikey V. Well, that's very thoughtful. But for the birthday dinner, I wanted to do something special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're going a lot of places. We're not, we're probably going to spend a decent amount of money. But I said, you know what? For my birthday, I don't want any gifts. I just want to go to a nice restaurant and I want to do it right. And we have booked a 2-star Michelin dinner restaurant with a 12-course tasting menu with wine pairing. So
nice.
tonight is going to be, it's going to be epic. Like to the point where Bobby's going to want to still eat like crazy in the day. And I'm going to tell him like, maybe we just tone it down a bit. But
did you know what I look
the
forward to
food is
more
just-
than anything though, Mikey, is I want a really good sub sandwich or just some type of sandwich. I've been following all these sandwiches on TikTok where they make them in Italy. And that was kind of like the buildup for me. And I can't wait to get a sandwich today, I guess, if we ever end up going to sleep. Now, Mikey, I got to ask you, okay, because to me, this was, we had a big thing that Cutsy did during the reception that was just baffling. And then did you hear, we are at this beautiful hotel at this wedding. The venue is unbelievable. Me and Joe go to a downstairs bar because there was no liquor at the wedding. So we go to get shots and all that downstairs. Real fancy.
It was a good play.
Mind you, the Swiss, they're very, polished. And did you hear the fart that he laid out?
Are we really going to talk about
Mikey,
the fart, for God's sakes?
Bear Down. Did you hear that fart? If
I didn't
you
hear
don't
the
think-
fart.
You didn't see the
I
fart?
didn't hear the fart.
Do me
I
a
didn't
favor,
see
Bear
the
Down.
fart.
Go to my post. Go to my most recent post. It is a
Okay.
rancid fart.
How did
that-
I not see
and,
this?
and Mikey, he didn't hold it back.
Usually
He
nothing
let
slips
this
my
thing-
purview.
And mind you, nothing makes me laugh harder than a fart. You're gonna love this. It's right up your alley.
It's so ridiculous.
We'll
This
play it
guy
over.
just
for the
waits
people.
for moments that, or I'm vulnerable.
You played it. Get the beginning.
Well,
get the beginning. Wait, do it again. Get the beginning.
Okay.
Oh, this is so ridiculous, Bob. Now we're promoting this on the pod.
Maybe the cheese fondue wasn't such a good idea. Yeah, that was a good one, but it looked like you guys were in private. At least there was no
Yeah, there was not a
bystanders.
lot of
Mikey,
people
there was
around.
a
It was
Wasn't
family
crowded,
at
Bob?
the bar.
It
right
was
behind-
funny. And by the way, I'm not denying this fart because it actually happened. Unlike the past where there was the
The
fart
allegations.
gates
The allegations.
So
premedicated by Bob.
He has the fart at the bar, which we're going to play over. And then here's the thing that to me was one of the, it's so, it was humiliating at the time, but we're outside at the wedding reception. Okay. Right when we sit down, Cutsy's going, this sun is killing us. We better get some clouds or right out of the gate. So
You sound like such a nut job, Bob.
he has a golf prop bet in on 2 total randos, and he's watching. We're in the second row as the reception's getting going. He's watching. He's not even trying to hide with the phone. So the pastor is looking right at him, and he has to remind everybody about phones and to stay in the moment. So the reception's going on. A few minutes in, Cutsy left his TikTok on his phone. So the voice of the TikTok, all of a sudden you hear everything that I ate in Disney World, and there's music in the back. It's a TikTok. And Cutsy turns behind him to yell at the people behind him, thinking that it was their phone. It was his phone.
Yeah, it was not a good look.
Now, Cuts, I'm glad you recovered your luggage, which I'm very happy about. Because I got to be honest, if I saw another picture of you in that polo with the pheasants
So
all
ridiculous.
over it,
I had
was
to
gonna lose
go
my
after a
fucking mind.
wedding.
The black and
After the
white
wedding?
pheasant polo. Joe, you got a lot of nice polos. Let's bury the pheasant polo somewhere.
Yeah,
in the
that
back of
thing
the
Well, I'm
better not
sorry, I
closet.
was stuck with it for a few days.
You know what? I think
What was I
I
supposed to
think
do?
He served you well enough. I think it's time to put the old Yeller down, if you ask me.
You had to wear
I
the
will
same
say,
shirt like
I
3
had-
days in a row.
I know. I saw. I know.
big
It was ridiculous.
stank.
American, will you stop it, Bob, with this big stank? You're you're just something else. I have never gone through it like I did on this trip. This was the most, Bobby, shut up. I've never in my life had to feel, he's on one today. It's 4 a.m. It's way past
you guys, the delirium is setting in.
Well, no, I could go with
that polo is a lot. I could tolerate that polo a lot more.
This is a nice polo. This is really nice. Look at it. It's like a Donatello Versace polo. This one. This is
it's nice.
Very vibrant. Very vibrant.
Let's reel it in a little bit over here. All right, let's just.
What I was trying to say for the 13th time is, I have never in my life had what I did with American Airlines you can't make this up. Like, I thought God was playing tricks on me to show up and to have a bomb threat as I'm trying to walk into the terminal. I'm stuck on the street for an hour. The flight gets delayed for 3 hours. Then I get in. Then the flight gets canceled.
Yeah,
that was insane. Trying to rebook the flight. And by the way, I was so excited, Bear Down, because I had paid. Well, I didn't pay it. It was on the family business points, but we had the premium economy with the nice seat.
We know the DeMar family meals. If you fly over 7 hours,
it's over 5 hours.
Right. You have to get
over 5 hour flight. You get the business.
I can't ever argue with you on that one. So
yes. So I was super excited when they canceled it. All the new flights that they booked me were all coach, and I was in the middle seat for every single fucking flight. Then I get in after 2 days traveling. I had a 9-hour layover in London overnight. I had to book a hotel. My hotel in Switzerland got canceled, so they charged me. And then to not get my suitcase for 3 days almost. I had to go the morning after the wedding because they messaged me that the night of the wedding said, your bag has arrived, sir. We will be dropping it off tomorrow. I said, okay, just want to make sure. Will it be in by noon? Because Bob and I had a train to go to Italy. They said, we cannot confirm that because there's a lot of baggage. So I had to get up at 8 a.m. after a night of, festivities and debauchery. And I had to take a 2-hour train back and forth, or a 50-minute train back and forth to go get my own luggage.
You know what's amazing?
I am going to put in
the
biggest complaint with American Airlines.
American Airlines is not going to care, but I don't
have to compensate me. They're going to compensate me. You betcha.
Yeah,
you bet your sweet ass.
Karen Cuts is going to be out in full effect.
He's going to ready for everything that we go out to eat. Joe's under the impression that because of this missed bag, that he can pretty much invoice American Airlines and charge them for just about everything that he spent. So he's keeping together a tally and all the receipts of everything.
I got all the receipts.
So that he can invoice American.
I almost thought about buying a whole new suit, Mikey V. I thought maybe I could just buy a whole new suit.
And if you were gonna, I'm sure it would have been top of the line.
Yeah. But you know what's funny too? Like, my flight.
Marshall's
flight. No.
You would have been going to Donatello Versace.
It's unbelievable.
Donatella is the woman.
And I will tell you this.
Yeah, it's a woman.
I'll tell you this about the flight. It is, it was my first time doing it. It's grueling. It really is. I mean, that Joe talked to me about the jet lag thing. That's a real thing, man.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get back into the groove. It's not an easy thing to do.
Well, no, I mean the travel day has to be the travel day to and from has to be like chopped off of how long you actually want to spend there. Because if you're going to say you're going to do, 10 days, 2 of those days are shot just from traveling. So, I mean, you got to just take that into account right off the bat. Make it, if you want to go there for 10 days, make it 12 because you're going to need it to recover from all that.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt the Brilliantly Dumb show to let you know that the Phantom of the Open is the outrageously true story of the world's worst golfer. No, not Bobby Fairways, Maurice Flitcroft. Maurice was a dreamer and unrelenting optimist who managed to gain entry to the British Open Golf Championship, qualifying in 1976, and subsequently shot the worst round in U.S. Open history. I'm sorry, that's an Open history, becoming a folk hero in the process. Golf Digest Cheers is the best golf movie ever made, starring Academy Award winner Mark Rylance and Academy Award nominee Sally Hawkins. What a time to be Sally Hawkins. The Phantom of the Open is now playing only in theaters in select cities everywhere this Friday. Back to the Brilliantly Dumb show we go. Another thing that I wanted to address is, and maybe it's a European thing. That's what they were telling me. But Joe, you said it's the first time that you've seen that. Is they did so they had the ceremony, they had the cocktail hour, which was like 2 hours, but it was awesome. We were having a ball. Then you go into a dinner. The wedding's from 4 in the afternoon to 4 in the morning. They have the
It's a
dinner
long one.
for 5, 6 hours. Now, I had my A stuff. I really did. I felt great. Me and Cutsy were working the floor. Mind you, we didn't know
Yeah, we were
anybody.
dominating the
We
table.
were just we were on fire.
Not to
and-
toot our own horns or anything, but we were
What-
really
we
good.
really
Bear
were.
Down.
We
were
let's
really
call a
good.
spade a spade.
We brought it.
But I started to run out of gas to do the dinner for
Yeah,
5, 6 hours
that's
straight.
Yeah, see, that's not normal though, Bob. I think there was a bad timing issue on the restaurant.
No,
part.
but that's what it was, 4 to 4. The dinner had to be 5 hours, and there was no liquor. So like even Joe said, if you have the liquor, you could really start revving it up. With the wine kind of makes you tired,
Yeah.
and it just
wine makes you tired. Yeah.
So by the
I just
time
think
you hit
for
the
me,
dance
it's-
floor, it was 1 in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're in a wedding, even if you're in a wedding here, stateside, I mean, that's an exhausting day. I mean, the last wedding I was in, Dickie Gass's wedding.
Dickie
The
Gas.
last wedding,
Wow.
the last
Shout out Dickie Gas.
wedding I was in. I mean, we had to get to his house to get ready and everything for pictures and stuff. I want to say around like 10 or 11 in the morning. We had bagels at his house like at 10 in the morning. The wedding wasn't until like 6 or 7 at night. So by the time you're all done, I mean, you're going from 10 o'clock in the morning till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I
Crazy.
mean, it's
It's a
just a
lot,
long
yeah,
day.
it's
It's a long day,
Crazy.
especially if you're in the wedding. It's not so bad if you're a guest, obviously, but if you're in the wedding,
It's
that's a full day
exhausting.
affair. It's a full
Yeah,
day
but you're
affair.
To the
the
point where
wedding.
I almost hope I don't get invited to wedding parties often because it's a lot.
You don't,
a
And then
brutal
you got to give the
stretch.
nicer gifts and you got to
It's-
do all, I mean, unless it's a best friend. If it's like a very close friend, then it's a different story. If it's just like somebody who's like, have you ever had that, Mikey V, where someone's, oh yeah, I want you to be part of the, a groomsman. And it's like, I'm not even that close with this guy. You know what I mean? Like
years ago though, not anytime soon. But I'm like,
full-blown
everybody
commitment.
now is like, I got whacked last year.
Did
I
you
got whacked
really?
with a bunch of them? Yeah, DJ
Now,
Mike
Mike-
and Dickie Gas. And
That's a lot of money to spend too. You
forget
gotta
the
be giving-
bachelor parties, all that.
How do you know what to give, by the way, for the wedding gift? Because I think this is a very good thing to discuss because like there's I think Mikey V would probably know this better than me or you, Bob, because Holly probably helped him with it as well. But how do you know how much to give? Because I think if you go as a single person, like I told Bob, we're going to Europe on this one. I'm with the amount of money we're spending, $200 is what I'm giving. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
a fair per plate. That's a fair.
now, if it's a close friend, I'm giving $500, but I think that's very
That's
generous.
very, for a single for no date.
What
Yeah,
did you give Dickie
Yeah,
Gas?
that's very generous.
What'd you give Dickie
I
Gas?
gave. What did I think I gave Dickie. I want to say 4 or 5. I
Ah,
think
that's
5.
what
I
is the
think
rule?
5.
Like 2 to
I think
250 a
5.
person? Is that it kind of covers the cost of like your meal and your drinks and
If
stuff?
it's a close friend, but you're not in the wedding, I always say like 150 to 200 a plate. If you're in the wedding and you're bringing somebody, it's 500 automatic. It's 500. That's the way I feel about it. And
Yeah,
then
see,
if it's like a
that's-
brother, if it's like a brother or something, then I have 4 older brothers. Luckily they were all married already. When I wasn't really established. So, but that could get expensive.
It
too.
adds up, dude. It really does. It adds
I mean,
up
this
big time.
every time I go to a wedding, I try and figure out what they're spending. This one that we went to, I mean, it had to be hundreds.
Yeah,
of
well, that's what I
thousands.
mean. You can't, but people, if you're gonna have a wedding that extravagant, most of these people who have weddings that extravagant realize that there's no way that every guest coming is going to cover their plate.
Yeah,
And they're fine with that. And that's just an acceptable fact. I mean, there's just no way that every guest in there is covering their plate because the price per plate has got to be outrageous.
Plus,
Outrageous.
that we're for how far we came, for how far we went. You got to
Yeah,
factor that
going
in.
up is almost like being a
if
gift.
it's a destination wedding, that adds a whole nother variable into the equation. That adds a whole nother variable. into the
a
equation.
lot of
think it
factors
changes
to
a lot.
take in.
But that's the stuff that I don't think about. Like, even like you said, the +1, whether you got a +1 or not, whether to give more or whatnot. And I'm with you guys. I mean, as far as being in the wedding, I had a friend one time call me and like it basically tell me like, hey, like, is it okay if I was between this and this? And I said, I don't want to be, I want nothing to do with the wedding party. It's a total different week. The wedding, you show up when you want to show up. You know what I mean? It's just so much less responsibility.
Yeah, that is true, Bob.
You know what I mean?
I think it is proper. I think it is proper to reach out to your groomsmen well in advance and be like, listen, I want to have you as a groomsman. That's the way I've been approached multiple times. Well, it's like, listen, I want you to be a groomsman. I mean, I've never heard of anybody like turning it down. I mean, I don't know.
I turned it down.
I don't know.
Then the groomsman,
that's
you have
first.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, Bob. That's really bad.
Well,
a turn down.
I wouldn't even say a turn. I suggested, I said, you know what? I should probably stay out of it. I said, I don't want to cause any, I should just stay out of it because you know what? It's a total.
What do you mean stay out of it?
Bob?
Just stay out of I said, just drop me. Just drop me. I'll be there.
Just drop me. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. You're telling the guy who's handpicking you to be one of the people representing him on the altar, and you're telling him to just drop you.
He was surprised too when I did.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was.
I don't even.
I will say with Bob, to Bob's credit, is that if you do the groomsmen, then you also have to do the bachelor party as well, and that Lord knows how much that costs.
And you know what? Here's
those
the deal.
things, strippers and the whole 9 yards.
I think Louis' wedding is going to cost me. I don't even fathom. I don't even want to fathom what it's going to cost me. I don't even want to,
because Louis is like family.
Yeah, I know, and it's just going to be.
The problem is, all of Bear Down's friends too are just degenerates like us. Like Dickie Gass probably blew that $500 at a Saratoga race in a matter.
So that's funny. That's funny that you said that, because it was his wedding was right around Super Bowl season, so he was getting like Super Bowl box
he bought a box. He bought a box. I was going to say he bought a box.
That was a groomsman gift. That all the groomsmen, we bought him an entry into a $500 box.
What a sick
fuck! I was going
to make a joke that he bought a box.
That's not.
Did he win anything?
No, that's real. I don't know, Joe. Joe, that's like ancient history at this point. I couldn't even. There's been so many bets logged since the Super Bowl.
By the way, Mikey, do you know Bob and I were talking about this today? Like, as much as we love football, like your love for football, it vastly outweighs anyone's I have ever witnessed, to the point where it's like, I said to Bob, I'm like, I think Bear Down probably could give you the amount of days or hours to the first kickoff before.
Yeah, I couldn't give you that. I think today was, I think now we're 21. I want to say 21 weeks.
You're in Texas.
21 or 20.
I think me and Joe's football IQ is very high. Like watching a football game, I think it's very high.
It is
the
high.
People that are separated, like where you're separated from us, is you're an X's and O's guy. You could talk cover twos. You could talk.
That was the lineman, Bob.
Yeah, those are the.
I mean, the game's won in the trenches.
Yeah, I know, and I respect that. Like I could tell you like what teams have good run offense and good run defense, but to name the offensive lineman is
know what it is the bigger of a college fan you become, the more into college football you get, the easier that becomes the longer you watch football, because all the guys that you watch in college eventually get drafted into the NFL. And then when you watch the draft and you follow the draft closely, it's like, oh, I remember this guy was drafted by this team. That guy, if you really pay attention, that's what I think. Like when I was younger, I didn't know it as well. But then when I watch college religiously, same as the NFL, it's like it kind of transitions right into that. And then you start remembering all these guys as it goes on. But also, I'm also a psycho. I mean, there's no question about it.
You belong on like the fan. Like, okay, if Barstool came at you, like I would fight like hell. I'd be like, no, fuck you guys. Like he stayed with us, blah blah blah. Like any of these companies. But if the fan came to you, like, and you did like Boomer and Carton, that would make a lot of sense, to where I think I would just bow down and be like, yeah, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. You're a WFAN.
Yeah, but I could never do that. They'd want to start me on like midnights on like Saturdays and Sundays. I can't do that.
I'm a prime time kind of guy.
I'm not doing any graveyard shifts. No, and that's no offense to anybody ever. I know you got to earn your keep, but this is not my primary source of.
Well, I would love for it to be.
No. I know that. I'm saying radio though. Radio, like I'm not doing like I would just never be able to do that. Those days.
Well,
are
we're doing
gone.
a
I'm too-
4
I'm too
a.m.
old.
pod right now.
Well, I'll tell you, Joe, I don't know how he.
Well,
he
I know that, but
doesn't-
that's different. That's for the brand. That's
Yeah, it is for the brand. I would fight 10 men barehanded with one hand behind my back for the brand.
For the brand.
And I'd
I
get my
respect
ass
that.
kicked.
Yeah. Well, but you know what, though? I respect that about you, Joseph, because you would. I don't doubt that you have.
I'd go down swinging. I really would, but I'd get my ass kicked.
You know,
but,
too, where Joe's really, where he excels, like that fart video that's now on my post, like it's a post, you know, he's got girls, like a certain girl that he's talking to or whatnot that sees that. His parents are on Instagram, or his mom seen him rip a fart in Switzerland. And the ability to just take
ex-employers.
that on the chin. Well, we've had a lot of people that really had a great content opportunity that we really thought was great for content. I'd say, you know what, I'm going to pepper this guy with opportunities, but they couldn't laugh at themselves and they couldn't take those.
It's an art form.
That's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. That's a
Cutsy
big
says
part of
it's
it.
an art form. I mean,
No,
I don't know
it
if I
is.
would call
You
it.
got to be able to
art.
wear one on the chin, Bob.
You do.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, we do a lot of advertisements here on the show, and I can honestly tell you that's something that I use day to day, week by week, month by month. I don't miss it. Is a company called Athletic Greens. I used Athletic Greens personally to get a jump start on my day. I wanted to feel good. I wanted to feel nutritious. Athletic Greens got that done for me, and they always have. Athletic Greens is a lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, gluten-free, it does not matter. Tons of people take some kind of multivitamin. It's important to choose one with high quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb, whether it's their drink, whether it's their vitamins. Athletic Greens gets the job done. I'm not turning back, and I mean that. Your boy Bob here is a better man thanks to Athletic Greens. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/dumb. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/dumb to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Don't mess around with your health, whether it's mental, physical. Athletic Greens is going to take you where you need to be. It took me where I need to be. Athleticgreens.com/dumb. Thank me later. In the meantime, we are moving on here on the Brilliant Dumb Show.
By the way, the Avalanche just won the Stanley Cup. Bob.
Did they really?
did.
Yeah, good for
We
them.
had a nice little bag on them too. So
Yeah, I mean, this
That's
guy-
really
but-
nice.
but
It's good
Bear
to see
Down,
you're still
he-
exercising that retirement, Joseph.
I can't, I'm gonna say this right now. I cannot wait till football season because I've seen it in Mikey V's eyes. I know he is ready to just obliterate the NFL football season.
I don't know how
It
I
is
could do. I
going
don't know
to
how I
be-
could do better than last year. I really don't.
I think you can.
I finished
I think-
62%.
Joe. He had a-
62%.
He had a
bro.
great,
That's
great run
impossible.
last year.
I think
And he
he
hit
could have a
some
big
big
old year
He hit some big bets.
this year.
Last year's football
And
season,
prize picks too, Bob.
with us being signed to Prize Picks and with us doing the Prize Picks last year,
Oh,
it was some of the most fun. By the way, I do got to get that plug in. By the way, the
Prize
boys
Picks.
is your promo code. Prize Picks. Type in the boys. Get yourself a free $100. They're going to match you up to $100. Come join the gentlemen. We're doing golf and everything before, but of course, football being the big thing. We
Oh.
ride the Mikey V wave the entire season. We sprinkle in a little bit of Giuseppe D in there, like we did last year, I think.
Yeah.
But overall, when push comes to shove, Mikey
Mikey's
V
our
will
guy.
call
There's
the
no doubt.
shots in the football aspect. Now, actually, Fat Perez broke a secret that he thinks that you do, which is brilliant, by the way, Mikey. So it's not a bad thing at all. I think it's brilliant. Perez thinks, because he's looked at like the books and stuff,
Oh, I said it last year. I know what you're about
that
to say.
what
Go
you
ahead.
do with the props, that Prize Picks will put out a prop bet that is totally different from like regular sports bets prop bets, and you will fade whatever they had based on the actual sports book, which I think is brilliant because there are a lot of open gaps with the prize.
There's a lot of like yardage totals that are off or favorable, I should say. Like if let's say Lamar Jackson's rushing total on the regular books is 75.5 on Prize Picks, it may be 68 or 67.5. I mean, that's a big thing to exploit. And if it's going the other way and it's too high, that's a big thing to exploit. But the thing with Prize Picks is that, yes, you may be able to find those discrepancies, but the way they make up for it, and I was thinking about it all year last year, is their odds, while you still, it's great. You could put in a 5-team parlay. You don't even need to hit all 5 to win money. All you got to do is hit 4. But it's not the same as if you hit a 5-team parlay straight up with the book on even money line numbers. So if you're putting a 5-teamer on a regular book where it's minus 110 favorites all the way down, the payout, if you hit that, is going to be a lot larger than the payout would be on Prize Picks. But at the same time, you get the insurance of being able to only hit 3 of 5 or 4 of 5 and still seeing money out of it, which is obviously very advantageous. And 10 to 1 on your money is never anything to sneeze at, especially if you could whack a couple good ones like we did last year, hitting for a couple thousand. So
yeah, I mean, you definitely did whack a couple good ones.
But yes,
he definitely
they have some.
My favorite one, Bob, was the Packers game on the Sunday night when they're playing the Bears.
Great hit.
And at halftime, Bob goes, Bear Down, you gotta be better.
Could you fucking imagine? Could you
imagine? So
could you imagine? What does this guy want me to do? Go 100%? Yeah,
maybe 100%? He might. Bear Down.
I mean, I would love to too. Bob.
He goes, he goes, Cutsy, I'm calling him out. I'm like, do not call him out. He's been really good. Need to piss him off right now. Bob's like, no, I'm calling him out because this half, because I think we had just a terrible half.
We had a terrible Sunday. We lost it. We missed the 1 o'clocks. We missed the 4 o'clocks. Everything.
And Bob just goes, Bear Down, you gotta be better. And Mikey was fucking livid. And by the way, we did a second half, which sometimes is almost as fun as doing it's the degenerate in us, but we did the second half. And we hit the 5 for 5, and Bear Down goes,
it was special.
Bob, is that good enough for you? Is that good enough? Remember that, Mikey? That was special. I hit over
$5,000
for 5K.
It was something crazy.
It was like the end of the game. The Bears running back. You needed the Bears running
Montgomery,
back to get one more catch or something, and he got it. And Bob was prancing around the room like a little fairy, just all happy.
Sure was.
I was so proud of him.
Two times quickly the tides turned.
2 times that we've lit a fire under somebody was Fat Perez during the 4-play match. That turned around for the better. And then you have Mikey V with the Prize Picks.
I will say just one more thing to add in is when you hit the Prize Picks, it's not only just awesome to see us hit the bet because we know we're making something, but it's to know that all the people riding with us, the army, the army is there and they're celebrating victories.
Bro, do you know how many people? You know how many people last year DM me, Bear Down? I did this because of what happened this Sunday. I did that because of what happened this Sunday. I was able to buy this. I was able to buy that. I was able to pay off this bill. I was able to, and that's really, really awesome. And I always just tell everybody, never bet over your head. Never bet money you can't afford to lose. Never bet anything that if you lose it, you're going to be really sitting in a spot where you're like, fuck, and you're going to go into a depression. Never. And he's a perfect example. He's a smart gambler. He's just a very continuous gambler. He will never stop gambling.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, football season we thoroughly look forward to because we all know. I mean, we're putting out the golf picks and stuff like that, but we all know that when it comes to football season, that is the main event. There's nothing better. My endorphins when I get out of the gym on an early Sunday morning and I get back and the bagels on the way, and it's just
I genuinely think Bob gets more excited.
He gets more excited about the food
on Sundays. He's got like this different. It's just a different energy from him on NFL Sunday. It really. He looks so forward to his morning routine, and I love that because I'm a guy of routine also. So I get that, but I just feel like his energy level for NFL Sunday.
You're right, and his anticipation. He'll be like messaging me on the Saturday night. Okay, Factors at 7 o'clock. I'm like, Bob, we're gonna go to Factors at 7. We're gonna be waiting for 2.5 hours for the game to start. He goes, no, we could get the bets in. We look at the Prize Picks. We got to do this, and it's. I will say, to our credit, we really found it into a science that. Like the setup of the TV with the red zone on, and then I got the NFL Sunday ticket, which, by the way, I've paid for the last 5-6 years. But regardless, it's the
not a
etiquette
free
goes on my.
service, Joe. What are you gonna do?
You know what he's going to do, Mikey?
It was a bit of a shtick,
Mikey,
is what I'm saying.
He's
is
going to
that
charge
try
it.
to-
He's going to charge
I
it to
just say
American Airlines. Yeah, he's going to invoice it to American Airlines. They're going to be paying for the Sunday.
That's a
ticket.
great. That'd be a great one, actually. I need to do it to mental health. Bear
Yeah,
down,
I used to
help me
have
mental
Joe
health,
ready to
traumatic
go.
experience.
You're mental, all right.
I got PTSD from this experience.
I used to have Joe ready to go at Factor's Deli at 6:30 in the morning. We used to get at 6:30. They didn't open till late. So they would always just turn us back and there would be nobody there.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, am I lagging?
Yeah, that's
you are.
yeah,
lagging.
you got lag.
Ah.
It's in and out, but it's there. It's there.
Wow.
Now
Yeah.
Cutsy's been crystal
Some
clear.
people adapt to the motherland a little bit better than others. There, Bear Down. You
Yeah,
know.
something's going on. There's a conflicting
Unbelievable.
Wi-Fi energy in there.
I mean, and meanwhile,
Bob's-
Cutsy's 2 rooms down from me. You would think that it would be the same. I just can't figure anything out. It's like I'm on Mars.
I
It's
was just gonna say, if you were ever as organized as you are for NFL Sunday and as
Oh.
prepared, if you prepared
You
your
would've
life,
taken over the
Bob,
world.
way you prepare for NFL Sunday
Yeah.
and organized for NFL Sunday, you would be an unstoppable force.
He'd be at 2
You really
million
would.
followers. He'd probably cured cancer by now, and Lord knows what
God
else.
bless. That would be great.
You're
That
not
would be
wrong.
great.
That's the sick part about it. I mean, even this poor Urlacher interview. I thought it was I thought it was today. So me and Cutsy are up today at 4 a.m. We didn't go crazy last night because we knew, or tonight we knew that we had Urlacher, so I didn't want to drink too.
Now
Turns out-
we're gonna have to go
it's just-
crazy.
Just
Going.
so lost.
Now, I'm just giving you both a fair warning about Brian. He is the most competitive human being that I have ever spoken to. He makes me and Paul Swan look like, I don't know, like junior varsity competitors in comparison.
Now he is
And
a
I'm talking
Peloton
about in
rider
all
too,
facets,
right?
in all facets of life. He's like a road bike guy. So like the Peloton wasn't challenging enough for him. He had to go out on the road bike and he'll ride for like 5 hours. He's just, yeah. This guy's built different, Bobby Backer. That's, guy played safety in college and then they were like, oh, we're just going to stick
How
you at
often do you
middle
guys
backer.
talk, Mikey?
Often.
Yeah, it's his
Awesome.
bear
Yeah.
source. Every leaked
No,
information
no.
from Mikey D, it's all
One thing
it's
Brian
all
is
coming
not
from
is a
Urlacher.
bear source. That I promise you. No,
He does the
no,
purse source, and it's always coming from Urlacher. He's got.
I
He's
think
got
it's a
Urlacher
mixture
in the
between
locker.
Urlacher and
Hey,
Alex Brown.
Urlacher,
It's a mixture.
Alex is much more of an inside source than Brian is.
Yeah.
Brian is retired. Brian is in full retirement mode. He's a
We should golf
avid
with him.
golfer, avid golf nut. He's an avid golf nut and a fisherman. That's all he does is golf and fish. That's all the guy does. That's all he does.
I think
nice,
so many
nice.
people.
You're there.
No, you're here. You're here.
Am I here?
You're here, Bob.
Okay.
Yes, you're here, Bob.
We're with you, Bob.
Um,
Jeez. Poor
I think
Ticket's
s-
got his
Yeah, Ticket's-
editing
Ticket's
cut
got
out
a
for
tough-
him this episode.
Ticket's got a tough edit. He does. 'Cause
Ticket's
I'm
doing some
lagging.
work. in
By the way,
lab.
can we just
Ticket's
say
doing some
while
work
we're
in the
talking
fucking
right now,
lab.
Ticket
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
sensational,
Yeah.
Bob. And
Yeah.
you got to give credit where credit is due. And I think, I have a lot of respect for the Jet, obviously, because, and then these guys who do behind the scenes stuff and who gruel it out, the Ticket has been a huge asset for the podcast.
Ticket's really doing some special
Oh,
things.
Meanwhile,
the
we have
videos
not-
are
he's
top
really
notch.
gonna.
From
Yeah.
the time the Jet's now editing our video that's coming out, Bob, the Sports First Foreplay Pod. The Jet called me the other day and he goes, I'm starting on the Barstool video. I don't want to hear from anybody. I don't want to look anybody. My phone will ring. I will not answer. Don't call me. I called him last night. I said, Jet, when's the last time you saw sunlight? He goes, I took the trash out today. He hasn't left his apartment from the time this guy's got his apartment. The only time he leaves the apartment is to go on a Bob the Sports trip.
He's a workhorse.
His friend said to him, his friend said to him the other day, he said, how do you like LA? He goes, I don't know. I only go to the airport.
Yeah, God bless him, man.
God bless him, man.
him. God
He
bless
hit me
him.
up because he had his friends over and he goes, Cutsy, what's a good thing to do in LA? I said, I don't know, Jet. You lived here for 6 months. I mean, you would think you'd have an idea. Yeah, he just
Getting work
he
to
works
the
his ass
bone.
off. And to free the Jet up, to do what he needs to do, the Ticket's been great. So
Ticket's been
shout
phenomenal.
out to the
man.
Ticket.
So, yeah,
Great,
big
great
shout out
job.
there for the Ticket.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt the Brilliant Ump Show to let you know that the Brilliant Ump Show is brought to you by our good friends over at BetterHelp. Are you burning out? Are you feeling tired? perhaps a little bit lackadaisical. I know I do from time to time. I don't really have a reason to, but I know I sure as hell do. Head on over to betterhelp.com. Life can be overwhelming and many people are burned out without even knowing it. Symptoms can include lack of motivation, irritability, fatigue, and more. Don't let that happen to you. Get ahead of it, whether it hits you already or you want to get ahead of it. BetterHelp.com is getting the job done for you. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Starting right now, yes, I said it, right now, our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/BDS. That's betterhelp.com/BDS. Get 10% off your first month today. Take control of your fatigue. Take control of your lifestyle with betterhelp.com.
And now, boys, I want to get into our top 5. And Joe, am I wrong? Did Bear Down not have an issue with this top 5 when it's a tremendous top 5?
I think it was the wording of the top 5, Bob.
No,
It was the
don't,
wording.
Bob.
Till this day,
There's no pretzels. There's no
I have
pretzels in Italy.
never delivered a top 5
That's
where
not
the
true.
both of you just
That's
said, you
not
know
true.
what? That's a good top 5.
This is a good top 5, Bob.
Bob,
Great
didn't you
top
have top
5.
5? Wasn't top 5 fruit your suggestion?
No, that
2
was
weeks
mine.
ago?
That was mine.
Oh, he
That was
had
Joe.
one. The last one he had, I had no issue. Here's the issue. The top 5, and I don't want to spoil it. Top 5 is going to be top 5 pastas, right, Bob?
Yes.
You're correct.
Bob originally texted us and said
Top 5.
top 5 pasta shells. So I've never heard of a pasta
Fair.
shell other than the, small shell,
Yes.
big shell. So I guess we would have to go, XL shell is my favorite, large shell, second favorite.
It was just the
I don't
wording,
know.
Bob. He was giving you a tough
It was
time.
the
Yeah.
wording. I think top 5 pasta.
It is a very
tremendous
good
idea.
top 5.
Especially you guys are in
Yeah,
Italy.
it was
It
relative
works. It
to
works.
what we're doing
It's
right
very
now.
relative. It works.
I think it's going to be a good one too, because you have a lot to choose from. Stuffed pastas,
now
shells and Bob's.
we're going to do stuffed pastas. I think that's going to be.
okay, well,
I think it
let's
should
lay
be
out-
on the platform. No.
Let's lay out the guidelines.
Okay.
here
Well,
of-
I would like to know, because now I have to make some adjustments.
Well,
I
that's-
think that we're talking about just the noodle itself, Bob. Am I correct by saying that? I was under the
Okay,
impression
so
just the pasta itself, the noodle.
So here's my question: Can you say
no
ravioli?
That's
No,
what I'm saying.
no,
like,
you would
because
not in
then
that
it never
case.
ends, because Cuts is gonna say,
Tortellini.
I really love Alaskan king crab stuffed ravioli. You just can't go wrong with that. I'm telling you, it never misses.
The bear down. The bear
You know,
down.
it was-
The imitation of me is actually people.
Bear Down, what was
love
that
it.
ridiculous meal that you ordered for your
Oh
birthday
my
again? It was like
God.
stuffed king crab inside.
That
of
was
caviar.
Alaskan king crab black truffle gnocchi.
I mean,
And
is
let me
that
tell
not
you.
the most ridiculous, outlandish thing?
Pretentious. It's a little
Yeah.
pretentious.
Joe, shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Pretentious
yeah,
Joe. This
Cutsy
guy
can-
eats caviar by the bucket load. I'm pretentious. Get the
I said
fuck-
it's a little pretentious.
This guy
Poor
wears
Holly.
black and white quail polos, and I'm getting my balls broken.
Poor
for ordering-
Holly had to pay her hard-earned money for that dinner.
That was years
Oh,
ago.
you know.
It was years ago. Years ago.
Dom might have had one less toy because of that gnocchi.
Yeah. Yeah, and now all the
promise
money's
you
going
that-
to Paul
I promise
Capone.
you that's not the case. Yeah. Paul Capone
Yeah,
is
Paul
cleaning me out
Capone's
good.
been working on the same basement for the past 2 years now. This poor guy.
Mikey V's gonna have
It's
to
gonna be a hell
start
of
giving
a
him
basement.
shout outs on the podcast
Oh,
because he's
dude.
not gonna be able to pay for his services. He's gonna have to start giving him ad reads. The
Yeah.
Paul
Capone
Capone
contractors.
company.
Yeah, every
You
time
know?
I call Mike,
Pick up
Mikey,
the
how you
phone
doing?
and call Capone.
Mikey, how you doing? Just exhausted. Just been working on the house. Mike, you've been working on that fucking house for the past
Well,
decade.
it's the bear cave, Bob. It's
Well,
the
you gotta
man.
take that
This
seriously,
turned
but this
into,
guy's made
it
more.
turned into a very large job. You go in, you start doing work, and then you're like, oh, you know what? We should do this. Oh, you know what? We should do that. And it spirals and a domino effect. And you just want to, you know why? Because you're not in yet, Bob, and you'd rather do it before you move in, and then
Hey.
it doesn't disrupt your way of life.
Mikey.
Take a lesson from me. When you guys do it that way. Trust me, when you guys buy your home, do it all in the beginning before you
Yeah.
move in. because
Now-
you don't want to do the shit once you're in. You
Mikey,
want to
when
be
it
in your
comes to that,
comfort zone.
when it comes to that man cave affects us even when we're not there.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
want you
big
to go
time. That's
all
a
out
big
on
time.
that. I got no issue.
He's gonna
with
give a
that.
grand opening when that thing's ready.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ,
yeah.
man,
Oh,
that
yeah.
thing. All right, fellas. Well, let's
It's
get
been
down.
fun, by the way. No, to have Mikey V back after not having him last week.
It sure as hell
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It sure
Yes,
as hell is.
yeah.
There was a lot of comments. We missed you dearly, Mikey V.
Well, it was it's a tough pill to swallow, but we're back and we're ready to roll, and we've never been better.
Yeah, no.
Well, let's-
I would say. I mean, Bob, you could jump in on that. We've never been better. That was your cue, Bob. You're damn right. We've never been better,
You're-
Mike.
hey.
You're damn right.
I'm lagging
We're
here.
a better
Mikey.
unit when Mikey V is in the helm.
That
Like
is
Mikey V completes us as the trifecta. There's no question about that. I
that
will
is-
jump to your aid there, Mikey V.
Thanks, Joseph.
That is absolutely correct, Mikey. Absolutely. Mind you, I'm lagging right now. So just know I heard you, but I agreed right away, but I didn't hear it till a few seconds after. Gentlemen, let's go ahead
I
and let's
understand.
jump into our pastas here. And you know what? It was a last minute top 5. Of course, there was an issue with the top 5 because there's always an issue with the top 5.
This is such
Um,
bogus shit.
But let's go ahead and let's have Mikey V start us off with the top 5. I think it's only right. Top 5 pastas.
Wow. Okay. I wasn't anticipating going first, but here we go anyway. So, in the spirit of going just the pasta itself, I'm not going to go in the woods too deep with naming specific stuff types of pastas and whatnot. Just the noodles themselves. Number 5, give me good old linguine. I'm not a spaghetti guy. I like a flatter noodle.
Okay.
The linguine to me is the obvious choice over spaghetti. I think linguine clam sauce obviously is never a miss, but we're not talking sauces, but just strictly the flexibility of the linguine. I'm a linguine guy. I love that. You have to have number 4. I do have a heavy pasta because you do have to have a heavy pasta when you're talking a substantial sauce, like a bolognese or a Sunday gravy, something along those lines. You got to go with a rigatoni at number 4. So rigatoni at number 4. I need a heavy structured pasta on Sundays. It'll complement the ricotta cheese. You got the braciole in there, the meatballs, everything like that. You need a hefty pasta to hold up to that kind of sauce. Linguine won't cut it in that situation. Give me rigatoni at 4. Number 3, I'm a big angel hair guy, capellini. I like capellini a lot. Capellini to me with, if I get like chicken parm or, anything along those lines, I'd rather, if I'm going to have the side dish of pasta, it's either linguine or capellini, but capellini to me, angel hair was always my favorite as a kid growing up. So I'm going to go with capellini at number 3, angel hair pasta. Number 2 was, a little bit of a weird spot because I have my number 1 hands down very easily. Number 2, give me orecchiette. Orecchiette to me,
you know what that is, Bob?
Ear-shaped pasta. They look like little suction cups. Orecchiette broccoli rabe sausage, probably one of my favorite pasta dishes of all time. Orecchiette peas. Orecchiette and peas with garlic and oil, delicious. Give me orecchiette at number 2. And then number 1, I know I said I didn't like spaghetti. I don't. But number 1 is a spaghetti, but it's bucatini. Hollowed out spaghetti.
Great choice.
I love bucatini. Bucatini is, my wife makes it all the time. Bucatini, you really can't miss. The sauce gets trapped inside of the tube. Different kind of animal you're dealing with bucatini. Special pasta.
More volume. Volume by far.
That's it. An easy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for me, boys.
That's pretty good, Mikey.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, Mikey. I mean, no issues from my end. Joseph, doesn't sound like you have any issues from your end. I mean, described it well. I'm okay with that on my side. Giuseppe, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I think I can go here. Now, I had ravioli initially in
I
it,
did
just
too.
like ravioli, but I'm going to remove that because
I think ravioli, if you say ravioli, is
I wasn't
fine.
gonna
think
do
if we
different-
got into like lobster stuff, pumpkin ravioli.
no.
that
I'm just
makes-
going to say the art of ravioli. I'm not talking
Okay,
about the filling.
okay.
Now, can I keep that or could
That's
do
fair. That's fair.
if that's fair? Otherwise, I can remove it because I have my honorable mention. Will
You know
just
what? I
stop.
do think since we just because I had ravioli in there too. I think because we disregarded it, I think we got to take ravioli off the table.
Okay, let's take ravioli off.
I think we do.
Then okay, I'll put ravioli in my honorable mention, and we'll do that. Okay, give me a number 5. Pappardelle is a very underappreciated noodle. The sheet pasta goes great with a ragu. It goes great with a lot of heavier style pasta sauces. As Bear Down mentioned, you need a thick, prominent noodle. That is a noodle that'll get the job done in more ways than one. Give me
That's the type of
pappardelle
prominent
at
noodle
5.
you need a Magnum condom for.
Yes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I'm not in that department, so we won't go there right now. But number 4, we're going to move on over, and we are going to do. We're going to take. And number 4, I'm going to do a bucatini noodle as well. I had it in my top 5.
Very
And
nice, Joe.
I will give you, you know what, Mikey V, this is a very underappreciated noodle. And a lot of people don't know about it. It's the cousin of spaghetti. It's a thicker volume. You got more width per bite, which to me, the volume, it makes up, especially when you have an al dente noodle. You can really appreciate the volume and the bite per strand.
Love that.
So give me bucatini at 4. All right. At number 3, I'm going to go with a wild card here that a lot of people probably would not have gone with, but to me, it's just, if it's done right, it's so delicious. I like it with like an arrabbiata, like a spicy sauce. Give me fusilli, the corkscrew shaped pasta, at number 3. And that's a noodle, if it's done al dente, is just special. It's just very, very good. Fusilli to me is, and you had orecchiette. I went back and forth because the orecchiette is also very good, but the fusilli for me, just the volume per bite with those corkscrew, the swirls with the noodles, the texture is so special. Give me fusilli at 3. At number 2, I'm going to throw in another wild card. I'm going to go gnocchi at number 2. And I think that gnocchi, when cooked properly, now the reason gnocchi is not number 1 is because there's a lot of times gnocchi's not made properly. If it's too soft, if it's too hard, you have to get the texture really, really dead on. But gnocchi to me, it's versatile. You could put it with a pesto sauce. You could do it with a cream-based sauce. You could do it with a red sauce. It's versatile. It's delicious when it's cooked properly. Gnocchi at 2. And number 1 for me, keep it simple, stupid. I think, there's no need to rethink, the wheel and whatnot. Number 1 for me is reinvent the wheel. Yeah, thank you. Very well. Number 1 for me is just the most basic but delicious and just rustic is a rigatoni noodle. To me, a rigatoni bolognese to me is my go-to pasta. If you ask me what I want to do, that is just, it's simple, stupid, and delicious. Rigatoni at 1. That's my list.
Yeah, I the only thing I could say is the gnocchi. It's not that I don't enjoy gnocchi, but to me, gnocchi is just too big of a commitment. It's such a commitment, it sinks me. It just
in what
sits
way?
in my
what do you
stomach.
mean it sinks you?
It's just too filling. It's too filling. It's too much. It's like I can't eat anything else. If I eat gnocchi, I'm done. That's it. I'm down for the count.
I get that, Mikey. I do. However,
but it's so good.
I got it in 2, and I actually got it in the 5 seed.
Okay.
And the reason being, and I do know that it's that heavy, but the reason being, those first few bites are awesome.
Very good. Yeah, very good.
So I think that kind of takes you to where number 4, I love the bucatini play. I'll take the bucatini play all day long. I actually even debated going higher with that. Number 3, give me pappardelle. Okay, give me that at 3. I like it. Did I pronounce that wrong, by the way?
Yeah, you butchered it.
I'm gonna have to send this segment out to the Audi Club group chat because I would love to get a video review of this review from Lou because his pronunciation, like the way Joe pronounced
it's pappardelle.
Fusilli. Yes, but go ahead, Bob.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mikey V.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Number 2, I got rigatoni. Iconic pasta. I mean, I think it's got Mikey. Did you? Oh, you had it up there. No, 5.
I had rigatoni at 4.
Mine was 1.
I got rigatoni at 2, and then number 1, which I'm surprised didn't make the cut. I think it's tremendous. Fettuccine.
What?
I've been lagging all episode. Am I there?
No, you're there. What was it?
Fettuccine.
What is fettuccine?
I've never heard of it.
Like fettuccine Alfredo.
Fettuccine, Bobby.
Golly, that's gonna be tough. What did I say?
Fettuccine.
Yeah, that's bad. That's a take.
I thought he was fucking kidding. What the fuck fuck is fettuccine, Bob?
But with that
That
being
is
said,
one of the worst things I've ever heard in
Yeah,
my
that's
life. Bob, you're in
bad.
Italy. You're saying fettuccine?
yeah, I know, especially the
Oh,
fact
at
that
the
this is coming from
restaurant.
Italy too. Yeah, that's tough. Jesus. When
Bob,
I
you're
didn't
from
hear
New
anything, I thought
Jersey.
when I didn't hear anything, I thought I was still lagging.
Fettuccine. I hope when they put the graphic, they write out VENN.
Yeah, they have to. They have to. They have to. They have to.
Tell fucking what Fassbender to put on Ventuccini for the for the graphic.
Fettuccine sounds like a law office up in North Jersey. Fettuccine.
I was like,
sounds-
man, I was thinking to myself, is this some noodle I've never heard? And
You know
he was
what-
looking
you
at
know
us
what-
like we're nuts.
I was like, what the fuck is fettuccine?
You know what's terrible too is the
Oh,
fact that we're
God,
recording from Italy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It makes it that much worse.
Oh,
boy.
you never heard of Ventuccini Alfredo? Oh,
All
dude,
right,
are you
That's
serious?
great. No,
Bob?
that's great. That's
I
great.
swear to God,
That's fantastic.
I thought that it was the lag and I didn't hear anything. I was like, Jesus Christ, am I lagging again? That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, that's tough. To
All
come
right.
back
Well,
from.
with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that does it.
Honorable
Another
mentions.
edition of the Brilliantly
honorable
Dumb Show.
mentions.
Bob.
Honorable mentions,
oh.
Bob.
I mean, I wanted to put ravioli in there. So if I could put the ravioli as the honorable mention, it's so fucking good to where I don't think I'll leave here without any type of ravioli. If I could put ravioli honorable mention, lock me in for that.
All right, I'll switch mine up because I was going to go ravioli, but in order to keep it fresh and separate, give me tortellini in my honorable mention.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with one that maybe you guys have not heard of, but it actually exists. It's Picheri.
Oh, we had it
is-
tonight.
Okay,
We ordered it tonight.
the ultra fat.
That was the one that
rigatoni
Bob
noodle.
you
It looks
loved.
looks like this. I don't
Awesome.
know if you can,
It's like a
not gonna
big
pick it up.
flat shell. Yes. Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
okay,
it
I
was
lost
so.
it. So
Oh.
that is like rigatoni on steroids.
Yes.
Is what Picheri is, and that is the ultimate Sunday gravy macaroni by my.
We had it
estimation,
tonight.
The ultimate, but it's
Oh,
not
it was
easy to
so
find.
good.
It's not
It
easy to
was-
find.
it
I'm so
was
glad you guys had that because
I ordered it
that-
for us. It
it's-
was
it's-
so good. Look at my story.
Anyone who
You'll
ever
see it.
eats
It's
that,
so fucking good.
anybody who hasn't tried that, if you ever see that on a menu, Picheri, you have to order that. And over here we call it scaffatoons. That's like the cultural
the
I don't know,
Ventuccini
slang word.
thing.
Well, at least you didn't call it Ventuccini.
That's going to be tough to bounce back from. I don't see me bouncing.
I'm going to
back from
tell you,
that.
I'll be
It'll
honest, Bob. I don't think you could ever bounce back from
That is
I
that
don't-
has got
I
to
don't
be a
think you can
clip
bounce back.
ticket. If you're listening, clip that thing and fucking it is going
I
to
hope
do.
I
You know what the
lagged there.
odd thing is? You know what the odd thing is, Bob, is like fettuccine, like all these like chain restaurant, Italian, like Olive Garden and all the, like, that's like their main advertiser on TV too, like fettuccine,
great.
fettuccine Alfredo, fettuccine. Yeah, but the fact that you called it Venice,
I know.
is mind-blowing.
Yeah, you know what? To be honest, it's going to take a few episodes to get over it. Where I
Yeah.
feel like it
I
really
just hope
will.
for the graphic that the Fassbender puts Ventuccini
has
instead of
He has to.
It would
I
be
swear to-
so perfect.
I've been on a lag all episode, so I'm hearing you guys a little bit late, and I'm just thinking, what they're not going to comment on. That was tough. But that is another edition, for better or worse, of the Brilliantly Dumb Show. We will be back. That is Joey Coldcuts, Mikey V down low. We appreciate you, boys. Love you, boys. To the faithful, like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next week. The Brilliantly Dumb Show.